This episode of Migtown is sponsored by The Dragon's Treasure. The Dragon's Treasure is a small tea business that combines two popular aspects of Japanese culture, tea and anime. Go to thedragonstreasure.com and use code MIGTOWN, that's MIGTOWN, for 10% off your order. Links will be in the episode description.
Let's think about this for a second, right? Anytime you've heard a woman talk about her past relationship, she never did anything wrong, right? Look, you and I both know you have never in your life heard a woman say, yeah, I really fucked up. I cheated on my ex-boyfriend. I did this. I was narcissistic. I was controlling. I was saying things. I was demeaning. I was emasculating. They don't say that. It's always, he was controlling. He was abusive. He was manipulative. He was, because they're always gaslighting, right?
He never had time for me, so I had no choice but to cheat. They won't even call it that, right? They'll just say they will never admit that they cheated.
I had an entanglement, but he made me do it.
He didn't take care of me. He didn't fulfill my needs.
Yep. Even though he's busting his ass, right? And the reason why I bring that up is because, we want to make sure that, I don't believe in the was it No Nut November? Listen, man, bust as many nuts as you want. Just no simp November, no simp December, no simp 12 fucking months a year. And the reason I say this is because this reason. There was a video, right? And here's how bad it is. It had like when I tell you it had a lot of views, I'm talking like a few million views, right? It was a video of a nightclub where a woman and the dude were getting into it, right? The dude, I can't remember if he put hands on her or not. I think he kind of like got rough with her, you know what I'm saying? Like where he wasn't hitting her, but kind of like, grabbing her and being kind of very aggressive, right? And a simp, he's literally just sitting there on a bench alone. And he steps in, because that's what simps do, right? They want to be white knights. And he gets in the middle of this couple's altercation, right? When he does this, the shit escalates, right? Next thing you know, a couple of people barge in. They're kind of getting into a little scuffle. Dude, the boyfriend pulls out a gun and shoots the simp right in the chest. Pow! Right, I kid you not, dead in the chest. Right?
Caught a bullet for simping.
Right? For real. He catches the bullet. Oh, he wants to fight for about, I want to say maybe 1.5 to 2 seconds. Right? He's like struggling, and then you just see him like, and he just falls over, dies right there on the floor. And do you know what the moral of the story is? Do you think she left with him? The simp who's dead, do you think she crawled over him saying thank you? Or do you think she went back with the boyfriend?
She gave him a ride home.
Yep, right back to the boyfriend. And this is the reason why so many people don't understand what I mean. Well, listen, now you know how hard I am on single moms, right?
Yeah.
People don't understand why that is. They think, oh, Drex has some horrible vendetta against single moms. No, it's quite the opposite. I understand the socioeconomic and cultural repercussions of single motherhood. So think of it like this, though. What if, in an idealized world, what if there were no safety nets for single moms, right? So there were no simps. So there are no stepdads ever, right? There's no welfare. There's no Section 8. There's no government handouts. If you're a single mom, you're just done. What would happen to single moms?
Oh, they go right back.
They go right to the last dude, or they were trying to struggle as much as they could as a single mom, right? So what would happen is, in less than a generation, you would just have significantly fewer single moms. Because they're like, so what if women were like this? Yeah, if you try to take a guy, like there is no family court, right? In an ideal world, right? What if someone's like this? If it doesn't work out, you're shit out of luck, right? Like you're just responsible for a kid. You either figure it out, or you open that OnlyFans to get money, right?
Yeah.
Or that's it, right? So when I'm hard on single moms, that's why. Because when we offer these protections, we're incentivizing bad behavior. Thus, we get more bad behavior. That's why we get more and more single moms, right?
So then what's your advice then? You mentioned OnlyFans. What's your advice if you're a father listening to this and you find out your daughter's opened up an OnlyFans?
Same thing. I've said right there on the extreme, if my daughter ever decides to go the Thot path, she'll be cut off. And I don't, I'm not one of those guys that says that but doesn't mean it. I'm the type of dude where, I'm a pure Scorpio. If there's an issue of betrayal, we're done. You're right forever. So I would tell my daughter to do things the right way, right? And I will show her the right way and the wrong way. Like, look, the girls that get ran through, this is where they end up at, right? Now, are there examples where a girl can get ran through and find a beta male cuck simp? Yes, yes. But those women cheat on those guys, right?
Oh yeah.
Always. They always cheat, and they're out still running the streets, and their life usually ends up in misery. Most divorced women wind up in poverty. I don't know if you knew that. The vast majority. So like that, the thought path does not pay off in the long run, whereas the lady Rackets path will pay off in the long run. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand that, I would just tell my daughter straight up. I go, now you have a choice. If you go down this path, you lose my provision and protection. So now you belong to the streets. And when you belong to the streets, if you think the streets is going to provide and protect you, it won't, right?
No, I know this.
Anyone out there who thinks like, I think the streets is they're gonna provide for me. They're gonna make sure I got 24-hour security. No, they're not. They will use and abuse you, right? So that's what it is. And the more that we get back to making sure that shit is right and holding people accountable, men and women, because ultimately only men can fix problems. Think about it. If you think women are going to change the family court, you're fucking gravely mistaken. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen.
And the women judges too.
And I was about to say that. I can't remember if I said to you, did Nick show you that video of it was on Twitter. Someone sent it to me.
Oh yeah, was it that Sophie Long?
Oh no, I remember the Sophie Long thing. Yeah. The I stand with Sophie or whatever it was, or Justice for Sophie.
That was fucked.
It was so fucked up. But like, think about it. Are you surprised? You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
And this is where people don't understand. When it comes to who wore it better, right? Only moms say that, right? You ever heard the who wore it better challenge? Like, it's a mom trying to thought it up and a daughter trying to thought it up. Who wore it better? Because she's younger. So she obviously looks better. But you notice you don't see that when it comes to fathers don't compete with their fucking sons. You see what I'm saying? We try to help our sons, and then like we're over there giving them a pat on the back, saying, "Hey, you've evolved into a man." Women, on the other hand, actively compete with their daughters.
Yeah, like if I go shooting with my dad and I shoot better than him at the range, he's not immediately trying to put me down. He's like, "Oh, you were using the easier gun," or my gun had a. No, he'll say, "Good job, son. Well earned. Looks like I taught you well."
But now reverse it. A woman,
I can't see it,
will see her daughter winning, right? That's why a lot of these women want their kids to be fat, right? That's why obesity is highest single motherhood, right? If you're a product of a single mom. Why is that? They want you to be a loser. They don't ever want you to win, boys or girls, right? So when it comes to girls, they want the girl to win, not because they want her to win forever. They want her to win to say, yeah, that's my daughter. The attention goes right back to them, right? Once you understand that women's entire life is a movie, you can use that to your advantage. A lot of guys don't understand the sheer solipsism and narcissism and total lack of empathy that women have. Women are not, they're not like this, people have this whole, like, they're virtuous. Women don't give a fuck if the entire world is burning, if they're the hottest chick in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're getting showered with gifts and attention and random dick, right? The only time that you know this for a fact, the only time women become these huge SJWs is when they're losing as a woman, right? She's fat, she's old, she's ugly. She got in a car accident and she scarred her face, so yeah, that counts in the ugly department, right? But so long as that she's winning, she could give a shit if the family court is evil. She could give a shit about climate control. Think about it. You don't hear too many rabid feminists who are 20 years old, right? Let's look at Emma Watson. You remember her famous UN speech? Like think about that for a second, right? What age did she give that speech? It's not an 18-year-old Harry Potter Emma Watson, right? It's a nearing the wall Emma Watson. Now that she's past the wall or at the wall, depending on what way you look at it, she says, I'm self-partnered. She's going to be a basket case as she ages. Look at Charlize Theron, right? Men need to just grow a pair and date me. Oh, well, Sharon Stone was that. The reason why I pay attention to some of these things is because it gives you a lot of insight. Because, like, here's the thing. I've talked to you offline and everything, and one of the things I talk about is where people are always saying Drex is making all this up. Everything you say, Drex, is just made up. And I say, a lot of times, if I talk about my own personal experiences, right, all my knowledge, people, you know what people are going to say? Oh, well, it's just the people you're hanging around, right? So that's why it's good to use celebrities, because everyone knows what celebrity we're talking about, right? Like if someone says Sharon Stone, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, most everyone knows who you're talking about, right? But if I say my friend Bob, no one knows he could be making this up. He's just using this tiny little twisted evidence. It's bias. Whereas, okay, so explain what happened with this situation. And as you go down these celebrity couples, and you see this unchecked hypergamy in these females, look what happened to Jay Cutler, right? Kristen Cavallari was a nobody. Marries Jay Cutler, becomes a somebody because she latched onto him, right? And when she felt that she could monkey branch, she jumped off the Jay Cutler ride, right?
Yep.
And then threw dirt on his name through what? Through social media. Women lie on you. Men lie to you. That's a fundamental difference between men and women. Women always include a third party when they tell lies, man. Oh my God, Nick Rekieta, he touched my thigh in 1993. What? Get the fuck out of here.
No, yeah. Donald Trump rubbed my arm on an airplane that didn't have armrests.
That didn't even have listen, man, I heard the story. They went on that exact plane. It was, I believe it was a 747, if I recall. And they went on the exact plane, and they went like this. It didn't happen. It couldn't have happened because, and you and I both know, once you point out their bullshit, what happens? They either start crying and saying that you should be victim bashing, or they start to change their story, like Christine Blasey Ford, right? Where every time that she got caught in the lie, I misremembered. Oh, it could have been. Well, hold on now. Listen, I actually have known women who have actually been sexually assaulted. And the reason why I knew she was lying, and the reason why that these women said they knew she was lying, is that women who have been sexually assaulted, they say they remember every single detail, right? Because it was so traumatic. So if someone shows up and they say, oh my God, this traumatic incident happened. Okay, can you tell us who was there? What happened? I don't remember. How did you get there? I don't remember. Who was there? I don't remember. It's like, wait a minute. If I had a bad experience with a thought, I keep that experience forever. I can, remember, I don't drink, right? So as a non-drinker, non-drug user, I can never say I got drunk, so I don't remember. So I remember everything. So it's like, like I wish I had the drunk excuse sometimes, man. I honestly do.
Well, you saw how far in the tank I was on the election stream. I remembered every second of it. Yep. And I drank half that bottle of Alberta Premium that I brought to Nick. I helped Soder finish off that, or I helped him drink that bottle of rum. And then I also had a few other whiskeys that Nick has. I remember every fucking... I've never been blackout drunk, and I've consumed a lot of liquor in my college days.
It's like the gift and the curse, because there are certain events that you wish to God you could forget, right? You're like, oh, Jesus, if I could forget this horrible experience, but you can't.
And people will comment on that too. Like if I tell someone, oh, do you remember this one movie scene? And I will rip the lines off in perfect sequence. And they're like, wow, how? Like, you saw that movie 20 years ago. How the hell do you remember all those lines? It's just like, once you associate that memory with something, and usually it's negative, sometimes positive, but usually negative. That's just how the brain works. Once you have associated it with something, it's burned in there for life.
It's burned.
Not getting rid of it.
I mean, when I watched like Starship Troopers, I remember how we got to see it. I remember all the good, because it was a positive memory, right? And then when I went to go see Wild Things, I'll never forget the Kevin Bacon man parts, because it was traumatic. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is this? I came for Nev Campbell and Denise Richards to get it on, and I got Kevin Bacon man parts, right? So it's like I said, it's burned into you. You're like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible, bro.
Like, for one good experience, I vividly remember catching my first fish. I was 8 years old. All right, that's a very long time ago. I remember every moment of it. Could even tell you what it smelled like sitting on the dock on the lake I grew up on.
Well, there's like these monumental moments in life that you always remember. You know, like I said, birth of a child. You know, you're like you said, catching your first fish, going out hunting for the first time with your dad, something like that. Like these things that are like so crystallized. And one of the sad things about where culture is going is that they're trying to erode all of those things by saying that, you know, like think about it. Everything that you or I do is considered toxic by modern standards, right? Everything. Watch this. Name something that you like that's not considered toxic in 2020. Think about it. Everything, right? Like everything in your life.
Maybe just mountain climbing, but I live in the Rockies here, and it's so the kind of people I meet while I'm rock climbing in the mountains, they're pretty they're eco people. Although there's some pretty nice looking ladies out there too. They come in from the French Alps, right, and they just want to check out the Canadian Rockies because we got some pretty cool mountains out here.
I don't like the girls getting their hands busted. Like here's the thing. I like my women to be soft and feminine, and don't get me wrong. Listen, I like a tough, muscular chick too. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong.
The Lumberjane.
Yeah, Lumberjane. One thing I don't like though is my sub was out. She started taking up like hiking and like rock climbing and stuff, right? And I remember I went out there to visit her, and her hands were fucked up. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And she's like, yeah, I was rock climbing and stuff. I'm like, you get some gloves? Like, look, I don't want roughed up hands on my dick. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those guys. I mean, you know what rock climber hands look like, right? Where you look at me.
I have rock climber hands.
Yeah, you know, right? Like,
yeah,
it's okay on a man, but it's not okay for a woman. You see what I'm saying? We as men want women to be our opposite. Women are designed to be our opposite. So I always am questioning women when, like I said, look, I'm okay with women rock climbing. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is you need to alter certain things so that you stay being feminine. Listen, I'm all okay for women lifting weights, right? But make sure you have gloves on at all times. Well, damn, Drex, patriarchy. I was like, look, you know what it's like to lift weights. You know what calloused hands look like. It's not sexy on a man. You see what I'm saying? And have you ever seen a woman who lifts weights? And because especially with white girls now, all these white girls are in the gym. They're all lifting weights. They're only doing like 4 exercises, right? Deadlifts, squats, hack squats.
I mean, I appreciate they're going to the gym now. I mean, it's I appreciate it.
You know what I don't appreciate though? In all honesty, I don't appreciate their motivation for going.
It's always out of spite. It's spite.
It's spite or attention. It's one or the other.
And the attention is for the spite.
Absolutely. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Have you ever been in the gym? You're sitting there. You're in the middle of a set. Boom, boom, boom. You're knocking them out. And, you put the weights down. You have that little breather. And there's the chick. She puts the weights down or whatever, right? But what is she doing when she puts the weights down? Looking at herself in the mirror. Taking pictures. You know the thought poses, right? It's like they can't help themselves. And it gets old fast. I'm like, look, everyone looks great when they're at the gym. Look, I can promise you, some of my best pictures that I send to females are post-workout back when I was at Lifetime, right? You get done with a tough workout, right? So now your muscles are bulging, right? Everything on you is bulging and ripped. Well, guess what? When you go into the locker room and you take a picture, you're at your you look like Incredible Hulk. Now, you and I both know, once you take a shower, put your clothes on, drive home, your body has calmed down, right? You still look good, but you don't look, it's no different than a bodybuilding competition, right? Where when they do that 12-week program, that's their competition body. That's not their regular body. You see what I'm saying? But with women, it's always about attention. Like a dude will work out because he genuinely wants to get ripped. He wants to see those results because he wants to be bigger, stronger, faster. Women, it's just to get more attention. I want my butt to look like this so I can post more pictures of my ass.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, I'll tell you why I'm working out. Well, I can't right now because they locked the gyms down again. But I'm intending on joining the Canadian Army, so that's why I'm going back to the gym. I figure I want to take off about 40 pounds. Now, up here they call us BFIs, big fucking Indians, right? I've got muscle with fat on top. I'm just not cut or ripped, but I'm a pretty strong guy. I'd be okay telling people what my maxes are in the gym. That's how comfortable I am with my fitness level. But I got like next to no cardio. Somehow I climb mountains. I don't figure how I don't know how I do that. but yeah, like my reason for going to the gym is because I want to join the army.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. With men, our goal is usually something that is not about us, right? A personal goal that benefits others, right? Women's goals, I want to lose weight. Well, when women want to lose weight, what do they want to lose weight for, right? Just to look good, to get more attention, right? I mean, think about it. Look, when it comes to plastic surgery, why are women spending so much money on plastic surgery, right? They'll do whatever it takes to get a bigger butt, bigger tits, bigger lips, whatever, right? They go in the mirror. They go in the mirror every day, spending an hour or two on makeup. Why? Why are they doing that? Because their whole existence is based on how many people could I get to like me? How much validation? So that it's not helping anybody other than themselves to feed their own narcissism. You see what I'm saying? Whereas you joining the army, you want to make a difference. Now, personally, I don't know if I would be in your shoes wanting to join the army because sacrificing for a government in a country that doesn't give a shit about you, I have a problem with that. I believe only women should be in the army. Yeah, I really didn't. I really mean that because I am all about this equality that feminists push for. So I want to make sure that we get 98% of war deaths to be women. And I'm anxious for a war. I'm anxious. And I will be sitting there going like this. All right, ladies, time to step up, right? Time to step up.
Guess who's going to be first to ditch?
Oh, absolutely. And TFM has talked about this. And, my brother is in the army. And he said, when there's even a threat of war or hold on, a threat of deployment, the women will go off birth control, go get knocked up.
Oh.
All of them. So if you ever meet a chick who's in the service and you meet her and she's like, oh yeah, let's have some sex, you think to yourself, wait a minute. And especially if you've heard something in the news media, right? Like, oh, they might be sending troops over to here. Just know she's not on birth control. Oh no, I'm good. Just go ahead. Shoot it in me, daddy. Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah, fuck that. Next thing you know, damn. But that's how it is, man. And you're talking about like with the Thot Patrol. At the end of the day, the Thot Patrol is not important, right? It's the Simp Patrol that is. You see what I'm saying? Because
right, you can't fix what comes naturally, right? You can fix the deviation, you can't fix the normal.
Absolutely. And do you ever get okay, like I was in Canada, I was telling you we were chatting on Discord, and I was telling you I was in Canada, visited again. And I like Canada. I really do. It's a beautiful place. But the simping, bro, I don't know how many masculine men are in all the provinces.
Oh, they're all over here in Alberta.
They must be, because where I was, I didn't see shit. I'm not joking. I was, man, I told you I was out there with that Indian chick, right? And I straight up asked her, I said, I want you to look around. We were on our way back. There was this great chicken place, right? They make great chicken sandwiches, right? And we were on our way walking back. And I said, I want you to point out, by the time we can get to the hotel, just point out one masculine man, right? A man who looks like a fucking man, strong jaw, a guy who looks like he can hold his own, right? I kid you not. It just so happened that there was one, right? Like when you say something and then like 10 seconds later that person appears, but it was only him. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Whereas there was a time, if you went back to the 1930s and you asked women to go identify masculine men, they're like, well, they're all around. I don't see any. Like, there wasn't dudes running around in skinny jeans or Harry Styles wearing a fucking dress, right? It didn't exist. So women, you have the opposite problem. Back then, women would have been like, let's just say for the sake of argument, you were a woman who thought you wanted a beta cuck, right? And you were in the 1930s. I'm tired of these men being so strong and demanding, but I just wish I had a nice guy. Well, guess what? If you took a woman from the 1930s and put them into 2020, and they saw these fucking dress-wearing weirdo cucks, what do you think their reaction would be, right? They'd be like, send me back to the 1930s, right? Like this is a hellhole. Like, they would look at these dudes like, what the fuck is this?
This isn't what I wanted. It's just what I said I wanted.
Well, I have a question for you. So you met your dad, your biological father. And let me ask you this. Did you notice that the story that he told about, I'm sure at some point something had to be asked about what happened between, he and mom. Did you notice that his story was quite a bit different than what your mom told you?
No, not at all. In fact, he admitted to a couple of some pretty uncomfortable truths that my mother had said, and I was a little skeptical about, because I know exaggeration always factors in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of asked him about it, and he was like, no, I was a pretty messed up guy back in the day. He found Jesus. He got himself fixed up. He quit drinking. He quit doing drugs. He found Jesus, went back to school. moved back home, started taking care of his kids, my older brother and sister, with a different woman. So he cleaned himself up, and now he's a positive influence in both of my siblings' lives. Now that he's in my life, he's, I'm happy to have him. I'm a lot happier that I have him now than when it was just my mother and a broken stepfather. Which you know what? She left him. She decided to do a single mom, but only by the time I was 15. But to her credit, she got out of that because he was toxic.
Well, now here's the reason why I go so hard at single moms yet again. Always remember that women control sex, reproduction, and evolution, right? And yet, I look at these single moms, and I was like this: who was the man that you laid down with and spread your legs for? Who was that man? And the reason why I go so hard on these bras is, understand this. I always ask them, what was he doing when you met him, right? Because when you know how women are, right? Oh, he was abusive, he was crazy, he was on drugs. Did you know that when you were with him? And usually, eventually, they're going to admit, yes, I knew this motherfucker was crazy, right? And then the question is, why did you stay? And they have a million excuses and reasons, right? Whereas with guys, we there's not that much crazy that we're going to tolerate. Like there's a level of crazy a guy will tolerate from a female, but if it's getting, like I said, if it gets Amber Heard level, I think that we can positively say most men would have been done with Amber Heard pretty early on.
You ever get into that kind of tussle with your old man?
No, so the only thing that ever happened between my dad and I that really escalated is I was a grown man by this point. I want to say I was like somewhere between maybe 17 and 19, right? And we had family visiting, and there's like that line that even though he's your father, there should still be like a certain level of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't own me. You made me, but you don't own me.
Yeah, you made me. I came out of your nutsack, but you can't just talk to me any kind of way, just like I wouldn't talk to you any kind of way, right? Well, he did, and I remember just challenging him straight up because I got tired of it. Because I think every boy eventually, as they grow into men, you get tired of just getting orders barked at you all the time and him saying whatever he wants. But in terms of a physical altercation, it never happened because like the way I grew up is early on, the whoopings came early and often, right? I mean, we got our asses whipped for anything. I mean, anything. Like you spoke out of turn. That was an ass whooping when I was growing up. So by the time it's just like how you train an elephant, right? So by the time they're huge and can just destroy you, psychologically, they're not going to test you like that. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, with my dad, like will we get into an argument? Yeah, but like physical, no. Like, plus we're at a point in life. I mean, I just turned 38. You get to a point where it's like there's nothing to really gain. Because think about it, when it comes to men can fight and still be cool after that. But it's like, especially with your own father, your biological father, the most you can really do is have a heated argument because fighting it feels unnatural, right? Like think about it, fighting your sibling is easy. It feels natural. Like fighting. Like I mean, I could get into a physical altercation with my brother right now, right? And it is what it is, right? All right, yeah, get the fuck up. And then you go right back to doing whatever the hell you were doing, right? 5 minute cool down. Like my brother and I got into so many fights, and when you ask any sibling when you deal with two males, right, and ask them what were you guys fighting about, you know what they're gonna say? Shit, I don't remember. No one remembers what they were fighting over, right? Like when it comes to siblings, unless it was like a major fight, right? So yeah, the fighting thing in general, I think that one of the things that men need to do as a whole is to stop fighting each other, because always remember this: women bicker and fight in their own way, right? The only time women unite is when it's to tear down and destroy men, right? They always can, but you know that, right? If you put 5 women in a house, it's almost instantaneous, right? They're gonna say, "Hey, hi, nice to meet you." You come back to that same house 1 day later, they're all at each other's throats, right? Now, 5 guys, the dick show's going on in Tampa, right? You can have 5 bros in an Airbnb together. You and I both know there's no problem.
Oh, God, we had like 20 people in Minneapolis. Road Rage, Minneapolis. We had 20 people there. And yeah, there was some shit. There was one guy causing shit. I put him into like a bear hug headlock kind of thing, threw him into the patio, closed the door, and that was it. Everyone else got along. The 19 other of us got along just fine. And this guy was doing it to get the attention too. Like, it was a gimmick for him.
And you know what though, in dudes like that who are bitch made, I warn guys about being around people like that, right? And the reason is, understand with these fucking betas, right? Sean James, if you've ever seen his channel, he's a black YouTuber out in New York. He wrote a book called The Man Crisis, and he talks about the pattern of behavior of these beta males, right? And he's like, you got to remember, man, the reason why beta males are scary is because, remember, they have the same strength as a man, but the emotions of a female, right? So how they are going to react is going to be the same way a woman would react. Like, so throughout your life, have you noticed women will say things about, like, especially like, you look like, you're a bigger guy, you can really throw someone around, right? Women will talk about how intimidated they are by someone based on their physical stature, right?
Oh yeah. Now, I'm not very tall, but everyone makes fun of the size of my head there because of these goddamn shoulders.
You're right. Well, you know how it is though, right? Like when it comes to men, a guy is not going to meet, like, let's say you meet a guy who's twice your size. You're not going to be thinking, I wonder if this guy's going to kick my ass. Because the reason why men don't think that is we're like this. We don't have anything to really fight over. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. And if we do have a beef, I'm going to talk my way out of it most of the time.
Yeah. Very rarely do men actually fight, right? So, especially when there's no alcohol or something or drugs involved, right? So if you were to get into a shouting match with half Thor, it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. And women, I think, project that onto men because if you notice, women always talk about their intimidation, this and that. The reason why they say that is because women abuse children more than men. Women kill children more than men before they're out of the womb and when they're out of the womb, right? And the thing is, they're projecting because you remember, imagine if a woman had the same strength as you, what kind of damage they'd be doing, right? Why is that bitch looking at me sideways, right? Think about it. They would go crazy. Think about all the times that women get into these like shouting matches or grab each other's hair or do something. Like, if women had the same, like, imagine if you got to just transfer the consciousness, right? Take Amber Heard, right, who already abused Johnny Depp. Put Amber Heard's mentality into the body of Bones Jones, right? God. Brock Lesnar. Well, what do you think she's gonna do? You see what I'm saying?
You know what? If it was Brock Lesnar, it would start in the ring, and Brock Lesnar with Amber Heard's mentality would like literally punch the shit out of everyone in that arena. Yep. It'd just be a floor of bodies.
It would be because they'd be so drunk with power, whereas men understand the responsibility of power. So, are there corrupt men? Absolutely. Just like there's corrupt women. But the difference is, men always know they're going to be held accountable for their actions. So if Brock Lesnar wanted to just go in the audience and start punching people out, he knows there's going to be repercussions, right? Women don't face repercussions. Thus, they're like, I can just do whatever the hell I want. That's why, do you notice?
There's no foresight.
None. It's just, you made me mad. Fuck you. I'm going to punch you in the face. And then so when someone hits back, it's this total shock. Like, but you're not allowed to hit me. Dudes know. And I think one of the other things is that even with a big guy, big guys know, man, just because a guy is smaller than you, let's just say for the sake of argument that the fighting skill is the same, right? A man knows that if he goes too far, the smaller combatant can always come back with lethal force, right? Because you talk, remember, you've seen these stories, right, where someone talks crazy or does something to somebody, and that fucker goes, "Oh, okay, I got something for you." Next thing you know, they're coming back with an AR, right? Mm-hmm. They come back with a machete. You don't know what, because you never know what's going on in someone's mind. I'm one of those guys, man, where, like you were saying, most things can be diffused verbally, which is there's no need for all the extra. And one of the things I learned, and this is especially after Columbine, right? Nick and I were in high school when Columbine happened, right? And I'll never forget this, man. Columbine happened, and it made me really take a step back and think about people that maybe needed a little pick me up, right? Because You know what I always thought about? I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to always think about after Columbine, if shit goes down, I want to be the one guy that they say, "You were good to me. You can leave." You see what I'm saying?
I've had the same thought.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like we're
It's
like,
the foresight, right? It's that pre-planning, that
absolutely.
foresight.
Yeah, because if everyone's making fun of somebody, you're kind of, hey man, don't be doing that. Just you saying, hey man, don't be saying that to him. Don't be teasing him like that. Just you saying that, the people teasing him are not going to come back and shoot you, right? It's the person getting teased. So what ends up happening is it's someone who's getting teased who could be very mentally unstable. They'll go like this: yo, T, you take tomorrow off. Why, man? No. Trust me. Don't come to work tomorrow. You're like, uh-oh. It's that
Yeah.
foresight, right? A part of you kind of knows, right? And so.
Oh, come on. We all know the person in class who would do it. If there was going to be one person who did it, we all know that one person.
Everyone knows. And so my thing was this. I was the guy, like I said, after Columbine, I made a concerted effort. Like, I was cool with everybody in general. Like, I'm one of those guys where, like I said, you can come from whatever side of the aisle. As long as there's mutual respect, man, we're good. Doesn't matter what your background is. But it was after that Columbine shit, man, I really took that shit upon myself to say, look, man, if there is somebody that's a little socially awkward, a little weird, a little, distant, I want to make sure I go over there and just kind of, crack a joke with them, just be cool with them. Just like, yo, man, hey, man, you want some of these? I got some snacks. Hey, you want something? Just that little bit of an olive branch.
What is that? Are you bringing the snack tray in for someone?
Oh, God, right? Because it's essential, right? Because if this person ever fucking snaps, and you've heard those stories where that has happened, right? Like, my aunt worked at the USDA, and that did happen. A dude showed up. I remember she said that the guy showed, it was a meet, like they were cutting overtime and doing all this other crazy shit. And he was one of those guys that was like on the docks or something, right? The dude came in with a briefcase with the guns you got to put together, right? Anytime you have a gun that you got to put together, whatever's about to happen next is going to be some fucking savage carnage shit, right? She said that there was some black chick in there. For whatever reason, he gave her a pass. I don't know if he was just cool with her or what, but he's like, you can leave. He told her to leave, right? And she was like, this broad left, fucking shot shit up. And that's how it goes down, man. Like, it happened in that nightclub shooting in Florida. The guy told certain people they could leave. You remember that shit? It was like the gay club, right?
They don't really Pulse. Yeah, they don't really talk about that, but
they don't talk about it. But you always want to be the guy. I'm telling you, man, a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of that. Of you are the guy that, because you showed someone respect and empathy, they gave you a pass when they were going to do the most savage shit imaginable. So, like, to me, empathy and karma are kind of like one and the same. They revolve around each other, right? When you show that you care about somebody, even when this person's at their worst, they're going to show they care about you, right? Even Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler had a doctor who saw about him as a boy, right? And he called him the honorable Jew. You have to Google it. Google Adolf Hitler, honorable Jew. He took care of Hitler as a boy when he had no money, right? So when Hitler did all this insane shit, he was like, no. He's considered untouchable.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
He gets a pass. Now, that's why I tell you, you never know what someone's going to become. So it's better off to just have a blanket treatment of people. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but like when it comes to waiters and waitresses, you ever notice it seems to be females who do the most to demean them and undermine them and all that shit? Guys are kind of like, how's the food? It's okay. It's fine. It's not fucking fine, okay? He asked for no tomato. There is tomato, okay? Do you notice the dudes don't really do that? We're just kind of like, I can just pick around it, right?
Yeah. Oh God, I can't count the number of times I've done that, right? I go through a drive-through at Wendy's. I'm a pretty picky eater. There's things I don't want on my burger. If they put it on, I ain't going to drive all the way back and exchange it. I'll just pick it off. Maybe I won't eat the bun if they put some stupid sauce that I didn't ask on it.
Correct. Yeah, it's like if you put too much mayo on it, and I said light mayo, it's like, God damn it. And I'll just take a napkin, rub off the mayo, and then, like you said, put the bun back on. Now it's light mayo. I'm not going to turn around. Like I'm saying, and you know this, T, it's about attention and it's about one-upping somebody. That's why when they go back in that store, think about it. What is the Karen pandemic? It's about attention and one-upping, showing up somebody, right? They have to be right. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's man Karens.
Think about the what is the name of a man Karen, by the way?
We need a name, man. I
was thinking like maybe a Robert.
Yeah.
Is Robert a man Karen
or something? Yeah.
Bob, yeah.
Yeah, Bob or so. Yeah, just because we need a term, right? Because
yeah. Don't be such a Bob.
Don't be such a Bob, man. One of the things that sucks is that they have to take down everything and everybody on their way down. You see what I'm saying? Anyone who's ever been around a Karen knows that. That's why there's that old saying: if mama's not happy, no one's happy. But no, there's no equivalent to a father. Like, you've never heard, if dad's not happy, no one's happy, because he's sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this job. I hate that we're in a small house. I hate 10 million things, but I'm still going to sacrifice and do what we need to do, right? When it comes to Karens, they will make everyone's life miserable, bro. Everybody. They'll make sure that no one's fucking happy. Well, like I said, it happened to my sub's mom. Once she found out, she went like, you know what's bad? When her own daughter calls her a Karen. She's like, yeah, man, she's a Karen. And she started saying things that started happening. Like, I kid you not, over the top shit. Like, she went ballistic on a neighbor. Check this out. The reason, you're thinking, well, what the hell could be the reason she went ballistic? The light from their big screen could be seen through her window. And she was mad about it. Now, a man would go like this. Okay, I'll just put my blinds down, right? No big deal.
A man would do exactly what I just did. Facepalm.
Right. Because it's stupid, right? Like, look, I kid you not. I have never gone to HR on anybody. I've never gone to management on anybody, any job I ever worked at. I never went to the police to say, my neighbors are playing music too loud. I would just go to the person like, yo, look, man, look. I got to wake up early tomorrow. Look, I know you guys want to have a party, but would you mind? Like I said, I'm the guy who goes, I'm not going to be that guy, man. I don't want to be that guy. I'm not a call the cops kind of dude, especially because I'm black. The last fucking thing I want to see is a cop. So I would tell him, I go, look, man, like, could you just keep it down? Like I said, I'm the kind of dude where I can sleep through anything. So it's like if I'm tired, I kid you not, you can be blasting music in the room right next to me. If I'm tired, I'll go to sleep. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Those people that call the cop, like, for anything, right?
Yeah.
You know what? They're not social distancing. Let's call the police. Really? You're gonna call the police?
And speaking of the social distancing, every time you see a video of the mask, people going on mask rants, right? Who is it? Who is it? Like 90% of the time, and if it's a guy, he's usually in one of those like, oh, the government is spying on you, and you're just a sheep. You're a sheep, right? They channel their inner Alex Jones. If it's a dude, but 90% of the time, who is it?
It's always females, man. Always.
And they talk in that condescending voice too, that like
always.
I don't even want to imitate it. Or the lean in, right? The lean in that well, I guess you're just a sheep then. You're just going to do what everyone tells you, right? Oh, I hope I don't get sick. Right? Like that voice.
Yeah. They go. It's kind of like this. It's a manipulative, like, little baby girl voice or whatever that they're using. My thing is this: like, the mask thing is stupid. Now, am I going to go on like YouTube rants about why I think it's stupid? No, not really my thing. Because it's not going to achieve anything, right? But at the end of the day, man, you just look at how like dumbed down and just like sheep being herded, right? People have gotten to a point where, like, I'm convinced that there is, like I said, there is no hope. Like think about this for a second. We just got put under a new shutdown order in Minnesota, right? Like, oh, no restaurants and blah 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 blah. And then, but yet you go to the grocery store. I kid you not, man. I'm in Walmart. At any time you're in Walmart, I'm not joking, man. There's at least 1,000 people, bare minimum. Bare minimum.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's almost like the virus was engineered and this whole pandemic was planned so that we could implement this new world order. But I want to switch gears for just a second, because this is also an advice show. And Drex, I wanted to get your advice on men who are getting into our ages, who are in their 30s, and are pressured to have kids.
My advice, honestly, would be if it's just about kids, do it the Cristiano Ronaldo way, right? So that you have full custody of the kid. And you're going to see that in the future with the artificial womb. But if you're one of these people who says, I want a nuclear family, you don't understand how strong I caution against that, man. Like I said, Tim, I've shown you text, man. You got to understand how deep I know the rabbit hole goes, right? And so when these guys out here saying, well, Drex, I really want a family, I want X, Y, and Z, I'm thinking, but dude, this is just my opinion, right? I'm sure there's a lot of guys who agree with me. There's X amount who don't, and statistics show that more than not agree with me, because how is the marriage rate the lowest since 1869? So they kept track of the stat, right? How is the marriage rate the lowest it's been in human history? If I'm wrong, right? I had this conversation with my Dominican chick earlier today when I was going to get some Raising Cane's chicken fingers, right? And we had this conversation. I said, Tim, do you know what? Actually, I'm not going to lie, man. I know I get a rap for being a certain type of way, but I have genuine empathy for these kids coming up, right? I go like this. Imagine, Tim, you think you got it bad now at 30? Imagine if you were 10. Think about if you were 10, right? What are the girls going to look like if you were 20? If you were 10 years old right now.
If I was a 10-year-old boy, right? Now I was a year ahead, right? I was a year ahead, pretty whatever. I was a year ahead in school, so the girls in my class were 11. They're in cuties, Drex. If I'm a 10-year-old boy right now, the girls in my class are in cuties.
Or look by 13, 14, especially due to single motherhood and just weak fathers. How many of them have OnlyFans or not OnlyFans? They would have like Instagram accounts, right?
How many of them are hitting up people like Chris D'Elia?
Facts, right? And people out there think that oh, Drex, it's not that big of a percent. I don't know if you saw that article about Georgia State being the number one sugar baby university in the nation, right? I promise you, Tim, it's more than you think, bro. When I tell you, I'm saying, start to really look like, so the OnlyFans thoughts of today are going to be the women asking, where are all the good men I'm ready to settle down tomorrow? You see what I'm saying? I already had a kid. It is what it is. I wouldn't want to be a guy. I'm 38. I wouldn't want to be 18. I wouldn't want to be 18 because if I wanted, like I said, if I wanted like the family route, now if you just want hookups, so be it. But with STDs rising, I think 3,000%, that's not even a good deal. You see what I'm saying? Tim, it's a total shit show out there, man. It's that bad out there. There's people, oh, it can't be. I've told people how bad it is, right? And one of the problems I have is that a lot of married people live in their bubble, right? So it's like they have like this oblivious eye. I'm like, you guys, if you guys think I'm lying or I'm embellishing, then go out there then. Okay, obviously before COVID, right? Go out to bars, go out to clubs, go out to restaurants, and just look at the interactions between people, right? And you'll see with your own eyes, man. There's a lot of fuckery going on out there, Tim. A lot, bro.
And it's going to get worse because now with COVID, we're all going to be dating by apps.
Yeah, correct. So think about it. Now, Tim, you would agree with me that before COVID, it was already too impersonal. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes.
It's all about a story. You know that, Tim. It's all about a story, right? Hey, you know who I'm talking to? I'm talking to this guy who's a doctor. Hey, you know I'm talking to? He owns his own business. You can just give them a story, smash, and then discard them, right? Because if you say that you're one of these guys looking for a relationship, if you believe for a second that these women, these modern women, have just one guy, you're fucking insane, bro. You're insane, Tim. You know that. Like, you're insane. If you think they're just talking to you, they're just talking to you. You are completely insane. If any guy out there thinks that, right?
Yeah. They ask, why am I not out at the bars smashing every night? And I said, I got sick of it, man. Where they literally would just fall into my lap. I don't have to put any effort in. You know how much effort I got to put in now as a 30-year-old going to a bar? Now, look, I'm not a 6'6" buff black dude. I ain't getting that. I go to a bar, they ain't just going to throw themselves on me. I actually got to put some work in.
Well, you know what's funny about that, though, Tim, is that, like, when you're doing these things, the value of anything decreases the more you get of it, right? I kid you not, man. I can remember the first time I had a woman touch me, right? I should say a woman, a girl, because we were teenagers back then, right? I kid you not, man. Everything was exciting, right? It's like, oh, here we go. She touches you. Even taking a shot. And I'll never forget this. Just the touch of a female hand on my chest going down was enough for an erection as a teenager, right?
Oh yeah, I get that.
Boom, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go, right? Ask me if the same thing is true at 38. Nope. If I'm not like into the chick, like I
like the waitress at every restaurant does it, right? The shoulder.
Yep. I'll tell you, when I tell guys this, you can fuck yourself out. You really can. So when people ask me now, I say, look, man, the only girls that really kind of can do it for me, like when I say do it for me, I just mean like temporarily, obviously, because I don't believe in dating, but there has to be a certain level of chemistry there, right? Because if not, like you said about the bar hookups, if you try to do that shit, the amount of energy, look at what you're getting in return, right? From a bar hookup, you're not getting a good ROI, right? Not much. And like most of the time, you like all you can do is like shake your head, like God, that was just terrible, bro. That was just terrible, man.
Well,
that wasn't even a good lay.
And now getting into the age 30, right? I feel dirty if she's under 20. All right, I feel like I should be in jail if she's under 20. So which means that it's a mental block. Maybe I'm getting in my own way, but that means that as I get older, the age of the woman is also getting older.
But as they get older, what happens to them? They come with more.
Oh, they're falling apart. And that's where you said the ROI was getting worse.
Absolutely. Well, here's the wild thing, man. I've told women this. I said, one of the things that bothers me about women is that they don't understand this basic premise, which is when a woman is young, right? Her expectation for a guy is at its absolute lowest, but her value to a man is at its absolute highest, right? If you don't believe me, go ask a 17, 18-year-old girl right now who's still in high school what they would view a great man as. The list will have like 3 things. You know that, right?
Do you remember?
He's nice.
Do you remember talking to girls in high school who were dating 20-year-old men?
Yeah. Yep.
That upset your conscience, didn't it? When even as a 16-year-old boy, and you're talking to a 16-year-old girl who's talking about her like 19 or 20-year-old boyfriend, right?
Yep.
Did that upset your conscience? Didn't it? Because it definitely upset mine.
Here's what I think what it did. I don't know if it upset my conscience. What it made me realize was the game is about to flip. Because what it made me realize was, remember, it wasn't going to be the other way around, right? A girl is not going to date a 17-year-old guy is not going to be dating a 22-year-old female. You see what I'm saying?
Unless she's his teacher or something.
Correct. Yeah, right.
But even that's not a date.
You knew deep down. Yeah, that's just a smash and dash. But you knew that the market was about to get upended, right? Like so the same girls that you had access to, which is what you're going on to say, the girls that you've already had access to through middle school and through high school will be gone next year, right? You're like, next year, like they're gonna be wrong. I had access to these girls, and I remember getting to college, and I'm not gonna lie, man, college just kind of really, it just kind of made me, I was more like disappointed in women than anything. I was like, why does everything have to be about fucking hedonism and drama? You see what I'm saying?
It was the alcohol that really did it in for me, right? It was them coming up to the party and getting, like, I learned what white girl wasted was in college. I didn't really have good experience with that before.
Oh, dude.
And I was like,
it's so sloppy, man.
How? Why?
And you know what? So here's what's crazy. I can't remember if I told this on Nick's show or not, but I've reached that point now, man, where I have to project some of my own values onto women now, where any of the drug shit, and I'm pretty much done with you, right? Like if you smoke weed as a female, I'm over it. You drink more than 1 glass, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just get to a point, man, where you're over it because it's like, Tim, these chicks bring so much drama. Like if here's the thing, these women all say the same thing. Oh, I'm not looking for any drama, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm not either, right? But when the time comes, what happens? They're nothing but drama. And you're like this. All I said was, I'm just looking for something casual. No relationship. You agree to that. I agree to that. We're cool. They always say yes until when? Until they catch feelings. And then all of a sudden, they renege on the deal, right?
Yep.
And you're like, wait a minute. Now we said this was the deal. Now you're trying to go ahead and flip on the contract. And so what happens is the amount of, and this goes back to what we were saying, the amount of drama that you deal with, right? You look at what you're getting, you're like, what? It's just sex. Because remember, they offer nothing else. You know this. They do nothing. So if the only thing you offer is sex, this is the reason why I think women are going to really start losing in the next decade, because as the OnlyFans hustle collapses due to oversaturation and as socialism pushes in, what they're going to start to realize is this: they're going to sit back and look around and go, wait a minute, guys are basically renting me.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I think that's all the time we have for this week. I know this was recorded on a potato. Let that forever be a meme. We will release new episodes every Friday. And yes, we have a better microphone on the way for poor Drexel. That will be the topic of next week's episode, Drexel versus technology. But thank you so much for supporting the show. Tell your friends. Shout it from the rooftops. Include subliminal messaging in your anti-mask rants on Facebook. But let the world know that this is the only show where you can get your weekly dose of Drexel. Once again, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you all next week.